Hi everyone, Quiveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. In today's video, we will be taking a look into the month of December. We'll have a quick look at some of the highlights, some of the big and interesting things that are going to happen in the sky over the course of the month. A lot of them do happen every year, so even though I'm pointing them out for this coming December, you'll still get to see these same things next year at the same time of the year. We're starting here on the 4th, December 4th, because this is the date of the greatest eastern elongation of Mercury. And this means that Mercury is sticking out far to the east of the sun, which means we'll see Mercury in the west as the sun goes down. That might seem a little counterintuitive, but you do just have to kind of flip the direction around, even though we call it the greatest eastern elongation of Mercury, and Mercury is stretching out to the east of the sun, we will be looking for Mercury in the west as the sun goes down. Now, this is particularly tricky. Mercury is, of course, a very small, faint planet. It's difficult to observe even under ideal conditions. Yeah, there we go. So there is Mercury over in the west. We can see it if there's no atmosphere. Mercury is out there. You can see that little dot for Mercury. We'll zoom in and take a closer look here, but do remember that this is not only difficult, but it can be dangerous with a telescope. If you point your telescope too close to sunset or sunrise, you might end up with too much light coming through your eyepiece. We can see just barely this half Mercury here. And that's one of the ways we know that it's at its greatest elongation. It will look, or should look, like a half. So we can see that there, pretty much a half Mercury there going down on the 4th or 6th. So this is the greatest elongation of Mercury. It will be technically visible in the sky. It's above the horizon when the sun goes down, but it is going to be very, very difficult for us to see. So that's out there as the sun goes down. We'll push later both into the night and into the month. Jupiter and Saturn are still with us in the evening. It should come as no surprise that Venus is still with us in the morning. Here we are even in early November, and it's dark enough to see all of the stars at just a little bit past 6 o'clock. So you can really start your stargazing nice and early at this time of the year. As early as 6 o'clock, right above the south, we have the square of Pegasus, and you can link that up with a bunch of other constellations like Andromeda, Perseus, and Cassiopeia. You can learn some details about that if you take a look back into some of the previous videos. We'll keep moving forward, getting the constellation first of Auriga and then of Gemini up into the sky. And because we do have another meteor shower coming up. I went into the Leonid meteor shower last month in great depth. We're looking up here for the Geminids. There are a few different meteor showers happening. We can see there the Chi Orionids, the Monoceratids, but they're not going to be particularly impressive. They don't make a huge difference to how many meteors we see in the sky. We can see a zenith hourly rate there of 3. So we're getting about 3 extra meteors through the zenith of the sky every hour with that meteor shower. With the Geminids, it can be over 100. We're showing there for 120, running from the 7th to the 17th, maximum around the 14th. So that's the date that we're going to look for. If you head out on the 14th, just after the sun goes down, you should see some extra meteors in the sky. Easily 10 times more than what you would see on an otherwise normal night. And that's still not quite as many as the Leonids that we saw last month in November, but it's still quite an impressive meteor shower, so we have that coming up as well. Now that we've moved significantly later into the night, we're here at almost 11 or almost 11 o'clock. So it is after getting quite late, but still not too late to go outside and do some observations. Looking up here into the south, we have the red star Aldebaran in Taurus. We have the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters, and we have Jupiter, the brightest planet in the sky in the evening. Venus is brighter, but it won't come up until morning time. Just in between Jupiter and the Pleiades is Uranus. Uranus is just coming past the point of opposition, so Uranus is still in a great position to observe over the next few evenings. You can see it with your eyes in a city sky or really in the country sky, but if you know where to look and where to point your telescope, it is brighter at this time of the year than others. Moving forward to morning time, and there is Venus. Now, We're coming into December, and one of the best things about December is the solstice, the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year. You'll have the most time possible to go stargazing on the 22nd. So the solstice does shift a little bit from the 21st to the 22nd on different years. It should be the 22nd this year. So we're just getting a glow of sunrise here in the sky at about 7:30 in the morning. And because of the angle that we're seeing the sun rising at, the sun won't really fully cross the horizon, there we go, until practically 8 or 9 o'clock. It's there at 20 past 9. The truth is, the sun hasn't even really crossed the horizon at this point. The atmosphere around us is bending the light of the sun, making it look like it's a little higher than it actually is. We can see the sun staying nice and low as it crosses along the south here. The sun, of course, is lower in the winter and higher in the summer. We can actually take a quick look at that effect here. Moving all the way back into the middle of summer, we can see that the sun is much, much higher in the sky. Coming all the way back into the middle of winter, it sinks. The sun, as mentioned in previous videos, is always on the ecliptic. So we're seeing the ecliptic from a slightly different angle as we move later in the year, thanks to the way the Earth is tilted as we move around the sun. So we're going to see the sun higher in the summer, lower in the winter, but the opposite is true for things that we're going to see at nighttime. We'll keep moving forward here to leave the sun go down, and we won't have to move very far forward. There's the sun setting under the horizon as early as 4 o'clock, just 4 o'clock in the evening. So from about 9:30 to about 4:30, that is the entire day for the solstice. And of course, the night will be nice and long, giving you plenty of opportunities to observe things in the night sky. We can see the moon and Jupiter right next to each other there on the night of the solstice, which is a great thing to see. If we zoom in and take a closer look, we can see that it's slightly past the half moon. We can see the football player on the moon and the Sea of Tranquility right in there. Again, I have a previous video on the moon if you'd like to go and take a look at that. But we're going to move forward to the night of the full moon, the 27th. There it is. So we have the moon there nice and full, nice and bright, just in between Christmas and New Year's. So the moon is going to be at its fullest and its brightest in between those nights. So if you're too tired to stay up and look at the full moon, if you've been tired out by the festivities, then of course no one's going to blame you for that. Here we are coming up to the middle of the night on the night of the full moon, a little bit past the middle of the night. We'll come back to about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning there. So there's the moon right above the south, and we can see that it is nice and high. So the opposite thing happens to the moon compared to the sun. Where we see the moon at night, when it's full, it's going to come down in the sky for the summer, higher in the sky during the winter. It's a little bit harder to visualize because, of course, the moon is hopping all around the sky here. But we can definitely see as we come back to wintertime, it's nice and high. And if we pushed all the way back into summertime, it would appear much, much lower. Now, we are pushing through various different years here. We're already way back in 2022. So that's why we're seeing things like Mars. We're not going to see that this year. There's the moon down nice and low for the middle of summer 2022. Let's speed our way back up to winter 2023. It's nice to see all of these different things drifting across the sky as we travel through time here. So coming back to, there goes summer 2023. Moon nice and low. And as we come back to wintertime 2023, we'll see the moon yet again nice and high. There it is for the 27th, just above the south. So those are some interesting things that we have coming up over the next month. We've got Mercury, if you can manage to catch it, another meteor shower, and you'll get a chance to see, you'll get a chance to see the shortest day of the year and the longest night, with both the full moon coming up at just a little bit after the solstice as well, to give you an idea of how high it will be. So a lot of those things are visible to the naked eye. They're certainly visible from the city, and I really hope you get a chance to see them. If you liked this look ahead to the coming month, do like the video. And if you'd like to be notified of the next time I put up a video, of course, in a month's time, we'll be looking forward into January. So if you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you'd like to read some of this information, then make sure to take a look at my website as well, queebeanscontent.ie. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll join me next time.